I better make sure I don't hear the drum beat if I ever play this board game. It will be a wild roller coaster ride for me, if you know what I mean. Well, anyway, hi ladies and dudes, this is Rebecca Lynn Barkley, aka Boobop1987. This is my review for today. And today's review, ladies and dudes, finally I can do this movie review at long last. One of the most important movie reviews that I've been hoping to do for, it's been 2 years by now. But at long last, it's finally here. My next movie review is Jumanji. And yes, ladies and dudes, I will admit it deserves to be a great nostalgia movie. Back in the 90s. And it featured our beloved man, Robin Williams. And you know Robin Williams, he's one of the best actors out there who gave us nostalgia for whatever type of film that he made that came from in the 90s. If you know what I mean. So the long wait is over. Let's head on to my next movie review called Jumanji. So, let's get this whole thing movie review started, shall we? It's a story about these 4 players named Alan, Sarah, Peter, and Judy. They all have to play this game together called Jumanji, a mysterious board game that has mysterious powers, and they're going to take them into a wild roller coaster ride of their lives, where they're going to be a part in the jungle at the real world. And there's going to be a whole lot of chaos going on with wild animals and a hunter that hunts men and some others. That's all I could say about the main plot of the story of Jumanji. And I guess everybody wants to know is, what the heck do I think about this movie? Well, to tell you the truth is, ladies and dudes, I still enjoy this movie even to this day. But sadly, this movie does have a little bit of flaws here and there. It's a very nice movie to watch that came from in the 90s. And yes, this movie did came out in the year of 1995. I was 8 years old back then, but I wasn't interested in that movie back then. But I first saw this movie on pay-per-view at 1996, and I started to enjoy this movie. It's a really good movie to watch, and I did rewatch it again and again. Well, my grandparents did record this movie a while back, and yeah, I did rewatch it again since. But now here we are years later. I'm a grown woman now, and I do want to rewatch this movie somehow, and I decided to rewatch it again on TV. And yes, it's still a good movie even to this day. So I will say I do enjoy the storyline for the most part. The characters are likable. I think the cinematography needs to be a little bit brighter. It has some good puppetry with a few of the animals here and there. I like the puppetry of the film. And the score from the late James Horner is pretty darn cool and interesting. And it's just a wild roller coaster ride film. What else I could say? So I'll go ahead and do my strongest points and the weakest points of Jumanji. I will say for the strongest points for this movie will have to be Robin Williams' performance as Alan Parrish. I really love this character so darn much, and he's very darn interesting to watch. He can be both serious and funny at the same time, but he's doing the best he can to try to be like a man. And yeah, Robin Williams knows how to play a funny but yet a serious character at the very same time. He's a very interesting character to watch. I think that's all I could say about the strongest point in the movie is truly Robin Williams' performance as Alan Parrish. I will say for the weakest points for this movie is I wish the cinematography should be a little bit more brighter for this film, because since I like movies that has really good bright cinematography. So I wish the cinematography needs to be a little bit brighter. And yes, ladies and dudes, I will admit there is a plot hole in this movie that I got very, very confused of. Remember that stampede scene where all the animals had messed up the Parrish's house and it's all damaged up at the front side of the house? And then when they returned home, it was back to normal, and there was a door coming by, and there was no hole in it. So yeah, I did see a little bit of a plot hole in that movie, to tell you the truth. So yeah, I will say for my weakest points of the movie is, I only found one big giant plot hole I found with this film. And also, I wish the cinematography needs to be a little bit brighter up. That's all I could say about the weakest points. And now let's go on to the characters. Man, there's so many good, interesting characters to choose from. But I think I'll stay with one character I care about the most, and that is Alan Parrish, played by our dear, beloved late actor, Robin Williams. I really love this character so much, and he's truly the best part I love about in this movie. He had a really good storyline. He has a great personality, great attitude. He's very funny, but yet so serious at the same time. And I like the part where he's trying to be a father figure to Judy and Peter and make sure he could take good care of them while there's a situation going on, about playing a board game that has magic powers, and there's going to be some chaos on the loose while they're still playing the game. And yeah, I do like the relationship between Alan and what's her name? Oh yeah, Sarah. Alan and Sarah. They're really an interesting love couple. Well, they're trying to be a love couple in this movie, but after all, they need to catch up on what's going on after the events back when they're kids, when they did play that board game in the year of 1969. Back in the hippie world, if you know what I mean. So yeah, I care about Alan very much, and he's a really good, interesting character overall. I'll go ahead and tell you about my final thoughts of Jumanji. Overall, strike that, reverse it. Overall, Jumanji is such a pretty good movie to watch. And it does feature some great nostalgia. I will say it had a good storyline for the most part. The characters are likable. I wish the cinematography needs to be a little bit brighter. It had a good score by the late James Horner. Oh, I love the special effects of this movie too. It has great special effects. And I love the puppetry of this film. And this is going to be one big giant roller coaster ride that nobody will never forget in movie history. So for my rate for this film, I decided to give it an 8 out of 10. Please watch this movie. It will blow you away big time. Even if it has a few flaws here and there. So that's my whole entire movie review of Jumanji. And join me next time for my next movie review to come in June. That I will do the John Wick saga. All 3 of the films before we could see the 4th one. And I gotta go ahead and make a very important announcement for all of you ladies and dudes. I remember yesterday at work I was thinking about in my head that I decided to go ahead and try to redo my top 20 best scenes from my favorite films. It says I got a few new ones in my head that I really do like. So I gotta remove just 2 movie scenes that was on my list in my previous time. Something I got to remove. And I'm gonna add some new ones in there. Something that I do love and praise the most. So, be prepared for my next videos to come in the future. And I'll see you guys later. And sayonara.